Hello students. Today I am getting a new lesson to you all, that is Louis Pasteur, the fourth unit of our textbook. Louis Pasteur is a French biologist, microbiologist and a chemist. He was born in France. His father served Napoleon. He was a soldier. Louis Pasteur had his great interest to know about nature. So he chose chemistry and studied well and went on in discoveries in different type of bacteria and the disease. His long research and his full-time commitment towards chemistry gave many new discoveries to mankind, and which is serving mankind for generations to generation. He is a well renowned for his discoveries of the principles of vaccination. As we all when a new child is born, also the child is vaccinated so that does not get disease like polio and some other diseases he's been with microbiome and fermentation and pasteurization. He is remembered for his remarkable breakthroughs in the disease and prevention of diseases. So it's not like only when you get the disease he has made a vaccine, but you can prevent certain disease where you don't get the you receive the vaccine and don't get the disease. His discoveries have saved many lives, because when you get a bruise or when you get a cut, okay, and then you try, when you just leave it open, then you can see some fungus getting around it. You can see something it's getting spread all over your body. It's only because of the bacteria present there which is influencing that wound not to heal but to get it into excess, which may cause one human's life. And Louis Pasteur has given his great inventions, his great discoveries in bacteria, and to prevent that which can cause death to a man. Students, Louis Pasteur was born on 27th of December 1822 in France. This person, he is called a fighter, but then he is not a soldier. He doesn't go to the army, but he is a fighter because he fought against various kinds of disease through his discoveries and about bacteria. Students, it is not that a person only on the war field is called a soldier. He has dedicated his life throughout in chemistry, finding out how this disease cause, how can be prevented, and how it can be easy for mankind. He has not only given for disease, even for pasteurization, your tin foods, the food what you preserve is a contribution from Louis Pasteur. You can see these are preservative food, pictures of preservatives, how they are being preserved. And this is the bacteria we are looking for. We always want to know how it looks like. So this is bacteria. They are quite colorful and they have shapes also. So this is the bacteria what Louis Pasteur worked on. You can see them. And coming back to Louis Pasteur. Students, Louis Pasteur first was his bacteria. He came to know that bacteria is a vegetable organism. It is somewhat like a little rod-shaped plant. As I showed you in my images, It's like this is your bacteria, and it exists in air, water, and soil, and in the bodies of animals and plants. So it is bacteria is present everywhere. You cannot see it, like in the air, water, and soil. You cannot see it with the naked eyes, but if you use a microscope, you can surely see the bacteria. You can see their multiplication, how they multiply. Bacteria are immortal. They don't die because they keep on multiplying every minute. They keep on multiplying. So they are immortal. And some bacteria are good. They convert they convert matter into good food, you can say yeast is also there are bacteria in that, and then milk turns into curd. That is also a process of bacteria. So the scientist Louis Pasteur, he brought about exciting discoveries about germs, but he also was able to use his discoveries in very practical ways. It was just not theoretical, kept in the books and only useful for certain people. Many people could find his discoveries in a very effective manner. He helped many people running various industries in France. He did not only serve in medical department, only for to find vaccine. No, it was helpful in most of the places, even in industries. He helped people making yeast, where it is helped in food industry, especially preservatives. When we eat your cake, then your pizzas, and all those stuff where yeast is used. And he gave them you can say is he gave them how much amount has to be used, till what time, how the bacteria can be good, how it can be harmful to man. He used to sit for hours together in quite silent and motionless, thinking how difficult problems are. He used to spend his time in thinking how we can come to a solution, how we can solve people's problems. Whenever he thought of a solution, he tried looking face would brighten him. It used to lighten up a pleasure, something a light in him, I got a solution. And he was very optimistic, very positive. He never gave up. He was always an optimist, and he really wanted to work hard. And he used to get excited, and he used to rush around to tell his discoveries to his wife and others who were helping him around. His wife also was a chemist, and she also you can say assisted him in his all discoveries and all experiment. And she also was a part of his all discoveries, because whenever we do a discovery, it's not always one person, it's always a teamwork. And unlikely us, he too was a normal person, because he used to get excited and he used to say, I did it, I did. And then he used to share and things, brought many things to around. This shows how sincere he was about solving his problem, because when you discover something, when you're excited, it shows you're ready to take feedbacks of people. It shows, yes, I'm ready to take corrections also. So he was very sincere in his work. Not no, okay, I have just found a solution, there's something for flaws in it, but then I will not go for it. I will just directly only, okay, I'll just go ahead with that. I'll not go with the flaws. But no, he was very sincere. He used to take every flaws, everything in that, and he used to say, I will work on my flaws. And he had a child sharing his discoveries with others. And I said, he is very sincere. He used to go how we go about when we discover something or we invent something, we don't wait to and keep it to ourselves. What we do is we keep on going, see, I discovered this, see, I discovered that, see, I invented this. This is how he too was. He was he had a childlike nature, very childish, but then very sincere and a very, very ambitious person. He could have easily taken up for a like as a soldier and then gone as a commandant, and he could have got higher ranks, but he did not go for that. He chose to serve mankind in a different way. You all have bread, then you all have what this is pizza and many other things which are baked. The most important ingredient in baking is what? Yeast. And yeast is used to making the beer foam. So and we all know what is beer. Louis Pasteur discovered that yeast was alive, made up of tiny living cells. So he said even you see the yeast, it is a small tiny living cells. You can say is like this. Like this picture, what you can see, tiny living cells. When the cells are healthy, the yeast acted well, but when they were diseased, the yeast and the beer went wrong. So this is a healthy picture of a yeast. Okay, and then what is the when it went old, it did not serve well. And with him, he was not the alone scientist who was experimenting, discovering. Okay, he had some fellow scientists with him. Most of the scientists believed in spontaneous generation. They believed that germs had no parents, but just occurred by themselves. But then, Louis Pasteur, he always thought different. And then and some were there with Louis Pasteur as well. Louis Pasteur and some other scientists, they believed that germs were carried in air and might have infected other things. And they believed that they are immortal and they grew by themselves. They had parents, when there is one bacteria and it gives birth to another bacteria. So this becomes a parent bacteria. Pasteur proved that the germs were carried in air and might infect others that came in contact with them. So how does bacteria infect people? What's the first question? How a person gets disease? We should be very much curious to know how a person can get disease. How can it be a person falls ill? If someone sitting in front of me has fever, and then unlikely in another few hours, I too get fever. How is that possible? It's because of the air what is flowing, or might be we have used the same glass of water what we drank. So he gave us information that it is carried through air, water and soil. He even introduced us to pasteurization. It is a process of heating the wine or milk of any other liquid to a temperature of 50 to 60 degrees to make the germs harmless. Children, we all know we are in the lockdown session, and every lockdown is opening. We are getting unlocked. We are in the lockdown session since March, and we are having a long summer vacation. Yet we are having online classes. Children, I think so all the children know that why we are in the lockdown session. It's none other than because of coronavirus. And all the scientists in the whole world are into one big struggle just to get a vaccine to get out of this coronavirus. I think we should have called back Louis Pasteur to please help us out. Well, it's a joke. Louis Pasteur also was working on these. And to face coronavirus, there's some remedies. Like, you need to take steam, you need to drink boiled water. And they've given the reason that while taking steam, the hot steam goes into your nostrils, goes into your throat and goes into your lungs. By killing the bacteria, the hot steam air gets into your nose, into your nostrils and to your windpipe, and then gets into your lungs and kills all the germs. The same way, when you drink hot water, it travels from your mouth to your throat and to your food pipe and then to your stomach. That is how it killing all the bacteria. The same way, Louis Pasteur years and decades of years ago founded that pasteurization, the process of heating. So when you heat milk, okay, milk also has certain bacteria in it, but when you boil the milk, it kills the bacteria. When you take the raw water, you boil it, okay, water also contains bacteria, but when you boil the water, the bacteria dies and it is safe for drinking. So pasteurized milk and milk which has been treated in the way, then sealed to prevent for germs from entering. So like now when you heat the milk, it boils and then all the germs are dead. So this is how he introduced pasteurization. And the earlier picture also I showed you is the prevention, preservatives, where you preserve like pickles and then tin foods which we make during the summer season. We make a lot of fryings and pickles which we store for the years together, okay, which does not get stale. So this is a process of pasteurization what we got in all this by the you can say by the contribution of Louis Pasteur. And Louis Pasteur did not only give that. For 3 years, Pasteur spent all his time and energy in tracking down the cause for the disease which had ruined the silkworm industry. Now, he, as I told you, he did not only serve mankind in medicine, but he helped the industries as well. So, if you go to see, he has helped in the silkworm industry also. He helped the people who were rearing silkworm industry to know why like they were not having proper good silkworm, why they're not getting a good production of silkworm. He did not contribute to a certain place. He was like all the side available. He kept himself available to every people. He even introduced live organisms into body to generate immunity and vaccination. Like for likely the disease like viral disease like smallpox, rubella, chickenpox, measles, tuberculosis. You can say is like he was trying to find a vaccine like to stop this disease. Actually, he was trying to find a way out to resolve this disease like smallpox also. You get fever, continuous fever you have, and then you get small boils all around your body. Then chickenpox, you get a bigger boils which have some pus in it. And measles, tuberculosis, where he introduced on a weak or a dead body organisms, and then like he to produce immunity. So like what he did was like he took some good bacteria, weak bacteria, and he injected into some like body to fight these bacteria, which may cause rubella, which may cause chickenpox, or which may cause measles. He even found, you can say, is like one of the most dangerous disease. He even found medicine for rabies. Rabies are dangerous disease which is caused by dogs and other mammals. Usually it is found in dogs and some other animals too. It's caused by a virus that can be transmitted through saliva to human. So like the saliva, if suppose a dog, okay, it is having rabies, and even if that saliva of the dog touches your hand or your skin, there is a tendency that you also can get rabies. Usually but they always go for the bite of a dog. Suppose if the dog just dashes you and you go, and that like the saliva hits your hand, and then like it comes in contact with your mouth, and then you are sure to get the rabies. Through the saliva, the human causes madness and confusions. So like the person can get into madness, like can get unstable of mental status. So we have to be very sure about these things. Like if you have pets around you, if you have dogs, if the dog is somewhere like having excess of saliva coming out of his mouth, please make sure that you maintain distance and take care of yourselves. All the, the, as I told you, Louis Pasteur was not alone the scientist who was discovering, who made discoveries. He had many fellow, we can say, scientists, chemists around him. One of them was Dr. Jenner, and Dr. Jenner had already discovered vaccine for against smallpox, but he did not understand bacteria. It's like he removed a vaccine, he found a medicine, but then Louis Pasteur, as I told you earlier, he did not only find solution, but he was finding the cause for it. And Louis Pasteur was mainly was concentrating on what's the reason, and the reason is this little fellow, this bacterium. And just small things only make big big wars and all. So this little bacteria, Louis Pasteur was trying to chase him and find from where do you come and what is your work and all. So this Louis Pasteur was just behind this bacteria. Pasteur, after giving his life to his study, was able to prove the value of inculation and find out ways of varying for different diseases. So what he did is there was Dr. Jenner who already found a vaccine for smallpox, but he because only by finding a way for one disease will not make, because you need to find the reason and stop it. That's why person does not get it again. So then he gave his whole of his valuable days and 3 years, more than years and years together, just to find out what is this inculation and how can we be there for this bacteria, how can we fight against this bacterium. Then came the First World War. It was in 1914 and longed up till 1918. During this war, the troops were going abroad were inoculated against such disease as they were getting typhoid and they were getting energetic fever and were very low death rate from this illness among the troops. Even unhealthy places was a great tribute to Louis Pasteur's work. So what happened is Louis Pasteur, he did a vaccine and he injected in the people. We can say in normal, very normal way, I can say you can take we all take a TT injection. Our parents whenever it's rainy season we start, or yearly when the government of India gives injection, comes to every school and gives injection for the children, a TT injection every year. This TT injection is a vaccine actually which keeps you away, prevents you from all the disease, keeps you away from getting disease which can harm you any point of the time. So these injections are given by the Ministry of Health Department. And so in the First World War, he could save many soldiers from typhoid and energetic fever and illness. This is how he could help people in the First World War, where they did not have unhealthy places. They had to go all mushy area, you cannot say very dirty places also. They might have war it is. So nobody, the war is not done in a plain playground or somewhere. They have to just rush in and just it's like a war. And there was no water, no good food to eat also. So when you don't have clean water to drink, when you don't have good food to eat, you'll surely fall ill. And this vaccine helped the soldiers fight their immunity system, because they took the injection, they took the vaccine in their body and they went to fight, and their body was fighting against the bacteria. That immune system inside was so strong, it kept on fighting every bacteria, and they came very rejoicefully, victoriously back home. Then he always and then there was a opening of some institute in Paris, and Pasteur talked about two opposing laws. So he had many people opposing, he had people opposing him, and he spoke about the laws. And Pasteur favored only one law. The second law was of peace, work and health, because now he was sure that the science is a very helpful to mankind. It's just not he believed that science should not only remain in the chemistry lab or only in the lab. It should go to every mankind and help them in their day-to-day life. In obeying the law of humanity, will always labor to enlarge the frontiers of life, he said. So he wanted you can say is like he wanted science to reach to every mankind. He wanted science to go to everyone and be of help. Not like it should be like just science is going there and like having its own way in only in industries. No, he said science has to be a boon to every mankind. It has to be given to every mankind. Students, this is what Louis Pasteur has given us. He has given us a lot of contribution to this society. He made us know what is bacteria. He made us know what it causes and how we can save our lives. I hope my lesson was helpful to you all, and I'm awaiting for your feedback in the comment section. Till we all find a vaccine for coronavirus, stay at home, stay safe. Thank you and have a good day.